Hi, welcome to Basic Public Speaking, and I am Professor Christy Thomas. So this video falls under this wonderful world that we have of choosing speech topics, researching, organization flow, outlining, all that wonderful things. So we've already done videos on discussing choosing topics, breaking down your general statement, your thesis statement, your main points, and then we've done videos on researching, and I've also just got done recording the video on speech support and how to properly use the different research within the speech itself based on the speech that you use. So this speech is about organization and outlining. Just like every other video, this is just extra information on top of the documented lesson reviews and the PowerPoint presentations. With organization and outlining, I've also already put up examples underneath the second content folder header, which I never remember it word for word, so it's like speech topic, research, organization, and flow is the general name of that content. There's a lot of information in this folder because it covers so much, but I've already, like I said, I've put up examples of outlines just so that you have a visual guideline to check out when it comes to it, because your second main speech is when we start adding outlines to the criteria that is due. So let's just talk about organization. Okay, in the world of speech, there's a magic number. Can you guess that number? Let me tell you. It's 3. 3 is the magic number when it comes to speeches. Now, what do I mean by 3 is the magic number? Your points in a speech. Informational speeches, how-to speeches, 3 is a magic number. Usually you can go about 4 or 5, but 3 is like that sweet spot. Because if you start adding, my hair is in my eyes, I'm sorry, I'm sitting here trying to get it out. 3 is the magic number, because if you have too many points in your speech, you're going to start losing people. Now, I know when it comes to how-to speeches, there may be more than 3 steps, but it's creating a hub of 3 points. Like I said, you can do like 3 to 5, no less than 3. You're not giving us enough. We want more. We want more information. So always at least do 3. 4 or 5 is good. You get past 5 and you're starting to you're going to lose them. They're going to space out. They're going to be like, huh? So 3 is the magic number. Three gives it, like I said, it's that sweet spot. So if you can work your topic, your main speaking points into groups of 3, that would be great. So say you're doing a how-to speech. It could be here's my example, and of course it's going to be food. It's how to turn a box cake mix into a bakery style cake. So your first point, gather your ingredients. That's pretty straightforward. You know, you get your wet and your dry, you get your box, you get your extras. Then the second point is how to combine all of these ingredients to make the magic batter. So I bought cake mix and you add it, and you don't use, usually cake mixes ask for oil and water, but no. You want to dense and make that sucker rich. You're going to add melted butter, and you're going to add milk or coffee or flavored milk, depending on the cake. And you're going to add more eggs. You can add some pudding. Yeah, so there's all kinds of stuff. This is my little tricks. I bake cakes a lot. That's your main point. So your first point, get all your goodies. Your second point, how to make the magic. Your third point, baking that magic. Do you do a traditional cake pan? Are you a double layer kind of soul? Do you prefer cupcakes? Do you turn them into cake pops? What are you going to do with that batter? What kind of pan are you going to put it in? Are you going to make a spooky cake? Are you going to make a turkey? Oh my gosh, are you going to fill it up with candies? There's the possibilities are endless. And that's what we want to talk about here. The endless possibilities. How are you going to finish that up? You got 3 points. Because remember, 2 is, I don't know why I just did that. 2 is not enough. We crave more information. So at least stick with 3. 3 is your magic number. Again, if you see me look off, I'm looking at my notes. I didn't want y'all think I was ignoring. So we've talked about speech purpose, thesis statement, and then within this is the main point. So your speech purpose is to inform or to persuade or to celebrate, or in here. Your thesis statement, this is what the speech is going to be about. To inform the general audience how to turn a box cake mix into a bakery style cake, or how to turn a box cake mix into cake pops, or how to turn brownies into decorative Halloween tombstones. Again, it's food and spooky, so pretty well those are my examples. I'm gonna change the tire. You get my drift. So you have your speech purpose and you have your thesis statement, your main points, which we said 3 is the magic number. You can do a little bit more than 3, but I really wouldn't exceed 5 because you're starting to overload and you'll lose your audience. Do less than 3, you're not giving us enough to really understand what's going on. We want more. We crave more as an audience. So your main points falls under your thesis statement. So your general purpose thesis statement we already talked about. This is your main. This is generally a sentence long. What you're going to talk to us about specifically. Maybe you want to talk about the origin of pizza, or there's a hamburger that a lot of people fight over being the first one to create the Juicy Lucy. It's like the hamburger with the cheese in it. Again, food. Or the first person who created buffalo wings. Who created the meme? Meme. Sorry, I'm kind of loopy today. It's been a long week of virtual school. So with that being said, your main points come into play here. Now, when you're organizing and setting up your speech, when you're writing, in general, you have the intro, the body, and the conclusion. That also falls in speech. Your main points is the body. So you have your general purpose, which I'm giving you your speech genre. That's your general purpose. You have your thesis statement, which tells us what you're specifically doing within that genre. And then you will do an intro, which kind of falls under your thesis statement. So those are kind of 2 in the same when it comes to speech world. Your body, which 3s are a sweet spot number. And then you have a conclusion where you wrap it all up pretty and put a bow on it and smile and hand it off. I know it's kind of weird how I phrase that, but that's straightforward when it comes to organization of speeches. So I'm just going to touch base now. Like I said, what I'm getting ready to touch base on, just like everything else, we have documentation also uploaded with lesson chapter reviews and PowerPoint presentations. There's different ways to pattern main points. There's spatial. Spatial is used when you're trying to help your audience move through time, or not through time so much, but through places like a building or an object. You're using spatial. If we start with the trunk of the tree, you move your way up. So spatial. I won't get real deep into these in this video because it is on the documents. This is most commonly used when speakers are speaking of a physical place or a physical space. That's spatial. So then there's temporal, and temporal is organization in a time sequence. It's because we use time to make sense of the world. You know, when I was 5, when I was 10, when I was 15. Think of this as your chronological order. You're going to, use a lot, obviously, in informative or even celebratory. You have chronological order. Maybe you're telling us about your favorite band. So maybe you start with their first album and you move to their most current album. Or perhaps you're starting with a book series. You start with the first of the series and you end with the last. You're doing an order here, a temporal, a chronological situation, a timeline, if you would. Then there's topical. Topical is when the main points, you present your main points in respect to a series of topics, characteristics, parts, or types. So it's not necessarily in an order. The challenge with this is arranging the flow from each point. Within this class, you don't really use topical. It's mainly chronological because, we're doing so much interpersonal speeches in our genres. Then there's problem solution. This is a lot falls under your persuasive. I almost forgot what I was talking about, guys. Typically, in a problem solution, it names the problem and it gives solutions. Crazy. And then, or it outlines or describes the effects of the solutions, or the effects if the solution isn't applied. And then ways to solve the problems. Da-da-da! So that's pretty straightforward. It presents the problem and it presents what will happen if it's solved or if it's not solved, and then ways we can solve the problem. There's cause and effect. This is the organizations usually used in concert with temporal or problem solving. The patterns typically demands the speakers offer well-established research support. So this really falls under the cause. To me, it falls more under cause and effect, because where we're giving, here's the problem. If this doesn't happen, this will happen, or if we choose to ignore it, this will happen. That's what cause and effect. Speeches on global warming, speeches on depletion or deforestation, all those fall within cause and effect. If we do this, this will. If we don't do this, this will happen. Air quality control, things like that, cause and effect. Then there's rambling. Not really a topical, but this is when there's no organization. Usually, and people tend to ramble when they talk. I tend to ramble a lot, but rambling will happen when there's no organization within the speech itself. This is why I say, and I've said in previous videos, give yourself time, folks. Don't rush. Don't freak out. Don't wait till the last minute. I try to give you plenty of warning that you've got speeches coming up. So give yourself time so that you're not like, oh gosh, I really know how to play video games. I'm going to give a speech on how to play Mario. But the next thing you know, I have a 40-minute video to watch of you playing a video game and you're not talking. So really give yourself time, guys. Ladies, gentlemen. Just really give yourself time. I'm not going to talk about outlining the speech because there's examples and documentation. on Blackboard content folders. But again, when it comes to organization, it's just like a paper. You have the intro, the body, and the conclusion. The intro, you're going to give us your thesis statements in the intro. The body are the main points. Remember, 3 is that magic number. And then you're going to wrap it up really pretty with a bow, and that's going to be your conclusion. And the conclusion is like, well, ladies and gentlemen, with these series of steps I have given you, I have taught you how to effectively change the oil in your car. I have effectively taught you how to make a mask. I have given you the biography of the director Tim Burton. I have gave you the history of horror filmmaking. I have given you, my examples are kind of off the wall anymore, but that's what it falls with outlining. There's examples, there's documentation, and all that good stuff. Let me make sure. And when it comes to outlines, there's usually what is an outline that you do at home, which you write, and it's way more detailed. Then there's something called a working outline, and a working outline is basically something you would hold or you can put down on note cards that just kind of jogs your memory while giving a speech in front of people. So like I say, it wouldn't be like an 8x11 sheet of paper. It wouldn't be like you holding this up, because if we were in person, I would be telling you not to do this because I can't see your face and people can't see your face. But think of it, some of my notes. Just something quick to jot. Okay, point 1. Maybe you're talking about the horror film industry, and you want to start off first with silent films, and then you want to move into cultural effect, and then today horror films, whatever the case may be here. But it's just a working outline. It's just something jot to help you out. But there's the main outline, a working outline, and nobody generally sees a working outline unless the teacher asks for it. Nobody will see the working outline. That's for you and your purposes only, so you can put your own little notes, remind yourself, look at audience, hey guys, what's up, type situation. Anyway, there are examples of outlines, and that's organization. Remember, folks, in this video, if you get nothing else, remember 3 is the magic number when it comes to public speaking. And until the next video, I hope you have a fabulous day and virtual school is treating you well. Peace out.